Okay, so there wasn't any major event yesterday in terms of awards, the arts, even general entertainment industry. Wala. I think maybe yesterday was Senegal won the AFCON. All right, so that's it. I just want to give like a general refresher on what exactly I think of awards so that I won't be misunderstood as being a hater or anything like that. Like I have said, I hope, I think, but if I haven't said it explicitly, then I'm saying it explicitly now. Whoops. Okay. Um, a body is allowed to do whatever it wants to do. People within a body, provided it's not politics or things that will affect lives, they're allowed to do whatever they're allowed to do. They're allowed to vote for whatever they're allowed to vote for. We can only beg that they use ethical means to conduct their voting process. We can only hope that they are not prone to bias, they are not prone to corruption, they're not prone to prejudice and whatnot. So that is a baseline stance. So I do not feel like it is responsible for strangers in the conversation, not necessarily strangers, but people not directly involved in the committees, the bodies that conduct these awards, big or small, to get their blood boiling over the results of rigorously designed processes. Because when you think of how awards even started in the first place, like when we want to think of what possibly could have brought it to the point that it has come to today without doing any web search or anything. I'm not going to do a web search while making this recording. Maybe I might do more research after the fact and make corrections in a follow-up recording. But I know that the first Oscars were held around 1927, 1928. And those awards, right, were given, or I would like to believe, were partly given because at the time, filmmaking wasn't as advanced as it is today. So it's not now that even bad films have production quality that can topple the best of the best in from previous generations. You understand? So at the time when a film studio or a group of individuals or whatever, they are able to do something particularly magnific in that regard, then why not just celebrate that in some way? So I guess that's why the people who started the Oscars and other relevant awards. I think the Oscars was one of the first, if not the first. I think, in short, I'm going to Google that one so that it will help build this conversation properly. So I'm going to be Googling first entertainment award. Yep, it was the Oscars. Wow, that is very nice. So I feel like that is what they did, and I might as well just see if there's a reason. Okay, I can't see a reason for why they started the award, okay? But yeah, the Academy Awards was started all the way back in 1929 from what I can see here. I'm just going to open up another list. Yeah, the Oscars just happens to be the very first one that was, widely celebrated, or basically the first one, because even if there were others before it, no one was celebrating them, but they are not being held till today. So it's the oldest award in the entertainment industry as far as we are concerned. So my stance is they can vote for whoever they like, but that isn't a spiteful stance. That is just me acknowledging the reality. It's not a cope. It's not a backhanded compliment. It's not a backhanded statement. It's just a statement. Then I was also thinking of this dilemma of reach versus red tape, you understand? So that I can guess the average Oscar voter, right, if they want to do their work well, has at least 100 films to watch. At least, despite all the red tape and everything, the average Oscar voter has at least 100 films to watch. You understand? So it's the same with the average Critics' Choice voter. It's the same with the average, what's your BAFTA, and the other one. So they have at least 100 films to watch. So when their choices are being influenced by what they've seen before, the names they've seen before, because in a previous recording I was talking about how convenient that the same people in the Critics' Choice are the same people in the Golden Globe, same people in the SAG, the same people in the other ones and all that. Yeah, so I can't blame them too much for that, knowing what I know now, or at least what I can decipher now, because it's going to be a task. Then number one, another thing is how many other voters are going to agree that even if you watch that line of 100 films, how many other voters are going to look at that same line of 100 films and then pick out the same set of like maybe 5 or so people for you, as you, or enough to garner nominations for the 5 people you picked. So when I see repeated names, or at least now that I've thought about it a bit more, I feel like, it's not the biggest crime. It's not a crime, really. After all, even when a performance is so great, but it doesn't get recognition from these bodies, at least fan audiences will always comment, they'll always make positive comments like, okay, yes, fine. Oh, no. At least let's hype up. There's so many like fanboy spaces like IMDb. Back then, Metacritic used to have user score. I don't know if they still do, but IMDb is there. I think, is it Letterboxd or so? The one that people are posting reviews there. So celebration, everyone is fair game when it comes to being celebrated for performance, directing, anything. You understand? It's just that we've kind of, as a society, right, we're not instructed to, but collectively we've kind of agreed with the notion that Oscars, Grammys are like the pinnacle of a recognition in your respective fields within creative arts. You understand? So, yeah, awards, they'll do what they want to do. They're very important for an artist's CV. But even without them, many artists still do well. And by artists, I'm talking about both musicians, actors, directors, and so forth. So there's I feel absolutely no animosity. It's fun to react to winners where even the options you're presented, right? It's fun to react. It's fun to make comments on what you pick. It's fun to, observe, oh, okay, I hadn't heard of this before. Like, I discovered Brandy Carla the day she was nominated for Album of the Year in 2018. I discovered Alfonso Cuarón when he was nominated for Best Director for Roma. I discovered, so many things like these awards, even though people try to say, oh, they only vote who they know. Not everyone knows those people. Like me now, I guess I am just discovering that this Wagner Moura does more than Narcos. Oh, God. What else has this award season brought to my forefront? I think maybe Wagner Moura, maybe just him. At least the film awards, film isn't my base form of entertainment, really. Also, let me talk about the Grammys. The Grammys exposed me to anyone new this time around. No, maybe because I'm a more active music listener now, but I mean, they basically voted hits across board. So, yeah. But back then, especially when the Grammys, they had this Blue Ribbon Committee thing, right? You would see like Brandy Carlisle, what's this lady? Bring My Flowers Now. They Bring My Flowers Now. Tanya Tucker. You discover some kind of people like, oh, okay. A lot of people discovered her through the Grammys. I discovered her through the Grammys. Yeah. I didn't know of her until I just woke up and I was like, oh, who's this girl that's getting nominations for Album of the Year? You understand? So Daniel Caesar, I discovered him through the Grammys. Layla Hathaway, I discovered her through the Grammys. To some extent, Beyonce. Obviously, I knew who Beyonce was. But Beyonce in the sense of like her non-popular work. So basically, before recently that I had like my own high-speed internet and everything to do music listening and all music exploration on my own, I was vaguely aware of the existence of Beyonce albums, but that that I needed like a nudge to care. The Grammys helped to facilitate that, and I'm not even talking about like the Drunk in Love. Obviously, I had heard Drunk in Love, but to value right different aspects of Drunk in Love, because Drunk in Love was a winner of Best R&B Performance and Best R&B Song. So before I had that information handy, I just saw Drunk in Love as just one of those songs. But when they tell you, okay, this thing won a performance award, this thing won a songwriting award, it gives you kind of like a newfound respect for the artwork. So it was until I saw, Beyonce's rap sheet at the Grammys, performance, that I really understood the gravity of her voice. That her voice wasn't just this shattering kind of quality to it. That the way she screams, bro, like it really has like a thunderous vibe to it, that makes her music more interesting. Or it's part of what makes her music more interesting from the, regular run of the mill vanilla R&B kind of music. And yeah, so when the Grammys, with how specific their awards are, the best in mixing or best in production or something like that, you value those things. You listen to just once, like, okay, it was nice, move on. But you value different aspects of the thing. Now, fair enough, sometimes you listen and it's still a disappointment. Like I'll admit that I've been disappointed time and time again with the best engineered album, best engineer, like the one basically for the mixers, best engineered, like classical or something like the most random albums win that best engineered. Then best immersive audio too. That one I always wonder, like, where's the immersion here? Although there was one 3D the catalog Kraftwerk. I think that was like an 8-disc compilation album that they did in 2018, 17, one of them. Whoa, that was very nice. Very nice project. Yeah, so they will also tell you best pop solo performance, you know. You think about this person's performance on the song, not just how you like the song, but you know, their performance, best what other thing do they have? You know, different skills being recognized, giving new life to already celebrated work. I really like that. It's not just, okay, what are the best tracks? What are the best albums? And then we call it a night. No, okay, there's no singular best track at the Grammys. There's best recording and then there's best songwriting, which, okay, wow, okay, the lyrics in this song are actually nice. This one, the production is actually nice. Stuff like that. I like that conversation. I like how, like, you know, as I've said, it brings new life and new aspects for respect to a recording or an album. So even with the likes of the Oscars now, like, you watch a film and you're like, okay, yeah, this one was nice, but what are the aspects of the film you like? I love the best sound category. I love the best VFX category. That's why I was like, okay, the animated feature category, maybe because I'm involved in animation. I feel like just one or two categories for animation feels a bit small, but I get it. They have bigger things to recognize, although the animation industry isn't small, please. So yeah, best VFX. And back then, you know, the Academy, they were really specific when it came to sound, because I think they had like 2 or 3 sound awards. And that made you really pay attention when you see the nominees. Like, it made you pay attention to, like, oh, okay, what am I listening to? You understand? So I think one was for sound effects and then the other one was for mixing. But now they've merged it to just sound. Best film editing, although controversially they said that one they play with it. Best what other skills they have? Obviously we have the actors. We have 4 acting, so women who act, actresses, actors, so people in supporting roles as well have their 2 categories. What else? So many interesting categories. I think they want to give casting. We saw at the Golden Globes also. They are now awarding, films with box office. Just different things to respect. Give new respect to a film. The screenplay, that's another one that I really looked out for when I used to really watch, not watch per se, but look out for accolades for films, like the screenplays. Like, I would even seek the screenplays online and try and read them and everything and see what exactly the hype was, to see how people frame their stories, to see how scenes are described on the script. It is a good thing. Fair enough, you can say, not even, we can say that not the best is being recognized, but that's, largely subjective. We also have to understand that there's a lot of red tape to get into the eyes of the voters, but even when the work makes it to the eyes of the voters, there's still a large pool. So even with that, these are human beings. It's possible that ads are constantly in their face, affecting their psyche. Beyond ads, aggressive campaigns. Remember how all these documentaries, they were talking about how people like Harvey Weinstein took campaigning for Oscars to extreme lengths. So yeah, no animosity towards awards at all. It's fun to just make comments like, okay, did I see this? Who deserves this? Who would I pick? Not necessarily who deserves. You understand? Who would I have picked exactly? So that's one of the things that got me recording today. Then, in terms of like general stories, I saw that there's a governor in the US that he was talking to Ben Shapiro. So Ben Shapiro, to no one's surprise, right, was saying that there isn't a humanitarian crisis in Gaza caused by influential authorities in the nation of Israel. So yeah, he just said that like as an emphatical statement. Then in the video, the governor was saying that he agrees or something like that. Basically, from what I could gather from the comment section, that this was a governor that they like, but the vehement denial of the situation in Gaza, right, was now turning people against him. So people are commenting like the Democrats are addicted to losing, and it begs the question, really, are they? So part of that is that I feel they try their best collectively, right? Because they don't have a shared ideology. Even among the Republicans, what I observed, they don't have a ubiquitous ideology. Anybody can pose for the camera. But them, I feel like the shared ideology that they are aiming for isn't necessarily leftism, but centricism, I think, or centrism, one of them. That is basically middle of the road kind of politics. You know, you are not pandering to either side. But part of what I want to say now is that centrist approach to life isn't even valid. You understand? Because I would even say that is just right-wing behavior posing as something else. Because we have grown past the point, or politics globally now, because it's no longer a Western thing. I thought it was a Western thing, but it's no longer a Western thing. So here's me lending my African voice to that situation. So politics globally now is beyond, I want to pay tax, I don't want to pay tax. It is now, should certain people be alive? You understand? It is now, should certain people have rights? Should we roll back rights? You understand? All those kinds of conversations. So we're having fundamentally, I don't know if the word is immoral, but let me use the word immoral ideas being presented as features of a political ideology. So that idea that it is an either or, when you present, leftism and regressivism, not even conservatism, regressivism, because it's now time to roll back the rights. It's like a false equivalence, you understand? So it's not a matter of, okay, let's wait anymore. Let's not be so quick to implement it. It is, let us deny, let us go back, let us oppress. And that isn't a matter of, okay, I picked a side or I have an opinion. That is a declaration of animosity. That is a declaration of, British coexistence. So, yeah, so when a centrist in today's political atmosphere aims to bridge, there is no bridging. In my opinion, there is no bridging. Fair enough. You might argue that there are leftists, right, that are radical, whatever that means. But at least they are radically seeking the betterment of certain people's lives. At the core of these things, right, is intention. So leftism, progressivism, not liberalism, because liberalism is basically dog whistle for centrism now. These aim to at least attempt to make people's lives better. You might say some of the ideas are myopic. You might say some of the ideas are needlessly vague. You might say the ideas are needlessly hard-lined. But intent is the root intention. Now, it is hard to believe that the people or the ideas being masked as conservative or right-wing are done in the best interest of people. What is a common right-wing idea? You want to ban access to, how will I use this word now? Choice. You are pro-life. And that the word pro-life in its way, in itself, is an effective branding of a dangerous ideology and a wicked ideology, an unfair ideology. Let's use the actual words. It's unfair. It's not a matter of dangerous. It's not every time that being pro-life is necessarily dangerous, but it is just unfair. Even if you want to claim that you, right, that is pro-life, will take care of the child, that your reality is not a ubiquitous reality, and many of the people pushing this pro-life wahala are not even arguing or pretending to argue that that is what they'll do. We are talking about a child here that if the very real if that the child is not raised in favorable conditions, you that voted for the pro-life wahala will still have to deal with the child in some way when, maybe they eventually become a robber or someone that becomes, a nuisance to society that affects you, that was itching to make sure that child comes out by fire by force. So yeah, this their ideas. I understand that they too they see it as they are doing it for the society's best interest, but they are doing it to maintain an image. It's very superficial image rooted in religion for a lot of them, but those that are not even religious among them, they are just being superficial. Another one they'll tell you that ordinary man wear makeup is crime in their eye. They'll call you degenerate because you're a man that you wear makeup. There are so many ways to attack this their idea of man wearing makeup is a moral failure. This is, after all, why in the world today, this same kind of ideology is why in the world today, homophobia, audiophobia, they are paramount because they are the ones that spread the idea. These people, the same people that cook the same idea in their fridge, from their fridge, they dish it to our ancestors, and our ancestors, whether they want chop them, they don't want chop them, they shall give them a chop. So, to attacking man wearing makeup or, transgenderism, for example, now, a lot of them, it's at its core, right? That whole transgenderism should not be a thing. One said it should be eradicated from public. I don't know. I just hear some kind of weird shit. But I've not been hearing some kind of weird stuff, basically, from all these people. And that obsession of theirs is emphatically superficial. We know as a society that man wearing makeup is neither a direct cause for concern to the individual, to the surrounding individuals, or to the society at large. We know that the existence of transgender people is not a risk to both the transgender individuals, the individuals around them, and in any way. The reasons are entirely superficial. It looks unpleasant to them. And so what? So that is why you now want to, because it looks unpleasant to you, or you've been grown up in a way that you've been told that it is unpleasant, because these ideas, by the way, were taught to them by people before them. So you've grown up, your brain has conditioned that, okay, it is unpleasant to you. So for that reason alone, you now want to say, okay, it should be outlawed. It's wickedness. So that's the root ideology behind them. So that's why, at least when it comes to taxation is a matter of actual opinion. Capitalism, socialism is a matter of actual opinion. You understand? But when it comes to all those their superficial arguments, it is just pure wickedness. So at the root of a lot of their ideology is just wickedness. But with that, the kind of wickedness that you don't realize that you're even being wicked, and that's the worst type of wickedness. Now they will not try and tell you, it's you that is wicked. How will you see somebody that has fully functioning 1 and 2? By 1 and 2, I mean the 1 and 2 below the waistline. They will now go and use scissors and, But to that, I'll say number one, it's not everybody that is trans that does that. Number two, even those that do that, you are not the one who participates in the surgery. They are the ones that knows why it is important to them to do it that way. And we have, practitioners that are able to give good results in that regard. Even if there is casualty, even if there is cause for regrets down the line, it's not like a complete failure. Because if I said, there will be regret, how many things in history have we regretted, especially in terms of medicine and science? I heard something, I don't know if it's true, I'll check it later, but I said, first person that made X-ray, that his wife died from it. This isn't everything where we just wake up, we don't know everything. No. They have to at least try, right? To the point that it will now be like, you just practically take one Panadol and the thing will just transform your body. We have to at least make efforts. People are willingly donating their bodies to the scientific process, both for reasons, therapeutic reasons, and some, even if they're not doing it with this particular understanding, but they're also doing it partly because their participation in that process helps to better the process. We cannot compare, I don't know the particular surgery, but, that surgery, surgery of below the waist of today to that of some years ago. Even when we small self, that kind of 2000s, we cannot even compare the 2000s to now. So, all these, your wala that, they will die. Okay, bigger one. They will now say, Children are doing it. They will regret later. Hey. So now, my own stance is this life. When it comes to what is a child, what is not a child, this life we have very different definitions of what a child is. Anyway, now, obviously, one of the counter arguments to that I don't really agree with is, they'll say, if a child burns his hand, the child will live with that hand forever. No. Yes, we understand that the child made the uninformed or careless decision to catch your hand inside fire. But at least the parents did their part and say, no, choke your hand inside fire. So, with this one now, is controversial because my understanding, not that, I try not to be wicked. So please, if you are listening to me and you think I'm wicked or you think I'm saying something that is, misrepresenting you, I beg, comment. Please let me know. But this is my understanding. It is controversial because those surgeries, those procedures, those acclimatizing, those transitioning, when you do it older, right, the effect isn't as bona fide or sellable, if I can use that word, as should you have done it much younger. You understand? So, fair enough, you can argue, that's a superficial reason. Yes, but then again, we're talking about psychiatry therapy. This is literally, it's not like, variance in sexual orientation that doesn't require most of the time surgical and cosmetic intervention. This one is, you are racing against, at times you're racing against the clock when it comes to this idea of, transitioning at a younger age. So to those children that have done it and, they are now adults that have no regrets, I'm so happy for them. So the ones that did it, that they grew up to be adults and then they didn't like the results or they wish, well, my hope is that at least for them, there will be means to regress as the science gets better. I don't know if there's a means to revert to, previous bodies as well, but we learn new things every day. But that it should be striked out. We should strike it out outright. The option for children to transition. I feel if there is a way, at least do it in a way that even if the child in post-adolescence now says, okay, no, that can be easily reversed. So I know that it's even possible that that's what's happening itself. But these people, when you listen to them too much, you think that once they do it, it's from 4 years that they will go and use a Resoblade and Resoblade every. I don't think that one is happening. I do not think it. I don't think 4 years is using. I don't think it. And if it's true, even if it's 4 years, no. You understand? Because it's one thing to stay from afar and cast judgment like, why would you do that to your child? Why would you allow your child to do that? You are not the child. You are not the child. You don't know how it's. They say he who wears the shoe. You are not wearing the child shoe. So, yeah. So on that, right? It's by case, honestly. We don't have statistics of how many grow up and say they don't want. I don't think we have that. Even if we have those statistics, best believe that it is going to be politicized. Best believe that numbers will be forged. So, my own is just one of those things. If you want to if you like, do it as 3 years. Honestly, no one wears your shoe, so only you knows how it is doing you. So there's that. This idea of centricism, maybe centrism, let me call it centrism, I think the word, or centrists existing is not good because they are effectively trying to bridge a gap, but on one end of the gap is land, and on the other end of the gap is burning fire. That burning fire will burn your wooden bridge, will it not? Then the fire will not spread into the land. So, at its core, whatever thing you believe in, the thing is, as human beings, we can actually, per topic, per discussion point, we can pick what we believe per discussion point. So we don't, as leftists, need to subscribe entirely to one idea. We don't, as right, subscribe entirely to a line of ideas, per case. But those rights, what I'm saying now is those rights, their own, is rooted in wickedness. I beg. So, yeah, wickedness, and I better pass my neighbor. That's like, oh God, how will I say this in English? That's, I have a point to prove, or, just to feel good about yourself because you're in a higher position than others. They'll not tell themselves reasons to thank God, reasons to give tithes. Wickedness, Jare. Also, this whole centricism idea, this idea of public figures like this, their Californian governor that went to talk what his constituents they don't like. If it also, I feel like at this point, right, all these singers we're listening to, especially popular ones, I feel like we should stop guessing what their beliefs are, because there's fewer pains greater than, what do you call it? There are fewer pains greater than you supported somebody publicly with all your strength for so long, just for them to wake up and not be like, see me. You understand? I get that even, the ones we support when we were small, even when we were small, they were good people, even in terms of like their opinions and everything. But then they'll not change. But that you will not even talk anything at all. I beg. For me, obviously, I cannot tell anybody what to do. But for me, if you cannot come out this trying period, this decaying period of even within your obodo there, when they see what you will never see before, that is within your boundaries, within your neighborhoods, you are seeing, Abi, the video is fake. So many rodentish behavior, rodents, behaving like rodents. So if you cannot at least come declare in your own way, declare yourself, say you don't support wicked, that you don't support wicked. So then, Anna, I beg, no vex, I don't want to risk you. I don't want to risk supporting who is a bad person. Why go to blast your music? The next thing, as I'm blasting your music, money will not be entering your account. That account is not going to come. That's the same money that we're going to fund this rodent behavior. So confess. Let us know who is who. Why they hide? So, anybody, whenever, at least public, Instagram, so I just want to check. I want to be able to, at this point in my life, Google you, unless maybe it's all these like indie singers. Those ones, they don't really have like social media prayer. Or if I cannot get the vibe from your music or from your webpage or something like that, I will still drop you. So if I want all these, the more famous ones, I want to be able to search you and understand who you are. Time is money. If I build playlist finish and then now you there on top of the playlist can't blow. That playlist can't gather string. You know, gather money. We can't use money where we can't give you go do bad thing. No. I beg. So some people they will say, like all these people, check any post where they post Chris Brown, Nicki Minaj. Check any post where they post those two people. Go see, I still stand. No, you people tear them back. Nobody's tearing. Not them do. Nobody they tear anybody down. Not them do. Not them use their hand do. I mean, I think even she self have today is Monday, but today. She don't do another one. Oh God, I should learn how to speak English more on these things. I'm sorry if you're watching, you don't understand what I'm saying. Okay, moving forward. English. Okay, so Nicki Minaj. Today is 19th MLK Junior Day. You people that know your holidays in the US, MLK Day, I think is 19th January fixed. So she writes, literally just a month earlier, did the controversial appearance at this thing, Charlie Kirk's wife. I don't know. She did a symposium or something like that, and Nicki Minaj appeared there. Okay, number one. Okay, Nicki Minaj, maybe she might have been the entertainment. No, she did not sing. What she did, among many things, is she declared her support for Donald Trump, which many people, myself included, saw as Mbao, as a bad move. You understand? Or as a move that supports, this bad behavior of politicians, right-wing people, what's these new people that are patrolling ICE, all those kinds of things. So today, Don Lemon, that they let him go from CNN. He apparently there's a church in a place in the US that the pastor is part of ICE. So you might have seen all these videos where they'll say ICE. I don't know what ICE stands for, but ICE is basically like immigration something, immigration control. I don't know. I can't guess the meaning, and I'm not googling the meaning. But ICE, right? Basically, their work is to arrest illegal immigrants. But many people have seen their approach as British. And, judging by the videos, it is British. So ICE is basically not regarded in a positive way by many Americans. So when the pastor, I don't know how they found out, maybe he confessed, maybe it's leaked. But when it was found out by the congregation that, this our pastor works for ICE, so the congregation people now went and protested outside the church, and then there was now news coverage like, how can a pastor that will come open his mouth, say love your neighbor as yourself, be working for this kind of institution? So Don Lemon was at the scene. I think this thing happened between today and yesterday, maybe even just today. So he was at the scene of the protest and everything, doing interviews there. So, of course, there are some people that when they tweet, it becomes news. So Nicki Minaj saw the tweet and said, I think, I don't want to Google the tweet. I don't want to give her Twitter more impressions than it needs. But I think she said something to the light of, she used a slur on him. Said, Don, how will I put it? Satiator of manhood. So she put Don, Satiator of manhood, Lemon. Is a whatever, now call him another insult. So the tweet has trended for the reason that she is supporting ICE effectively. And making a false claim that Christianity is the only persecuted religion in the world, which is a lie. Lie. Like premium lie, bro. That's it. What even stood out to me, or part of that tweet, in just few words, she so many things can be taken from just few words. So what stood out to me, right, was the first slot that she used. Now, I won't lie you, I'm not aiming to drill holes, right, where unnecessary, to create enemies where unnecessary. This isn't done in bad faith. Any of the critiques I might make, I generally avoid making critiques towards people. So that said, some things, right, in my view, at least when I have the time to talk about certain things, let me talk about it. This isn't an insult to her person. This is just an insult to, or not an insult, or just a review of action. All right? And not an insult. So satiator of manhood that she addressed him as is a bad comment in more ways than we're making it out to be. Now, let me give you this example. When people say Nick Fuentes is gay, right? When people say that, normally they mean it as an insult to him that, he can rag on gays, but he himself is gay. Even if you want to say, you're just pointing out an irony, you are still using it as insult to him. And when you make those kind of comments, right, or the one that they will say, Republicans, they do birthday, gay app, they crash. When we keep pointing out those ironies, I feel we are still drilling hole in that, stereotype nature that we, or, people before us have ascribed to, people with variance in sexual orientation. So that insult now, why is she, that she has used it as an insult, exposes or can be read to mean more things than can, you'd immediately see at first glance of that tweet that she composed and posted. That's, number one thing that segment of that tweet can expose is she might not have regard for her gay fans. Now, one thing that I saw a lot around the time that, it made headlines that she was making appearance that at the Charlie Kirk wife concert at the birthday party or something like that, is that how can she do this knowing that she has many gay fans? That many black gay guys like her. You understand? Like her big, or one of her biggest demographic is that is black gay men. So this is a lot of people saw it as a betrayal of her fans, and that this is bad behavior that will now even put them in harm's way, because I think she said something like boys will be boys or something like that in that birthday party that she went for. So so now this is now confirming the suspicion that that for her to be able to use this kind of language in an apparent attempt to demean his person, that means she might as well not even have regard for all, engagers in the activity she alluded to in a callous manner as worthy of audience, as worthy of validation. In other words, what I'm trying to say basically is that thing exposes that she's homophobic. Long story short. But basically, I feel like after this, right, you might even draw the same conclusion. Again, I'm not here. This is not an attack. I know that all these public figures, right, even if they spend the rest of their lives being bad people, there's always a motive. It's either true, they had a change of heart for reasons that we can deem as worse, or money. Like a lot of people are saying that it's money, and other things. But this isn't an insult of a person. I don't like her music per se. I haven't really messed with her music a lot. But at least when I was small, there were a lot that I could call that, So all this one is equally surprising for me too. That's not her active fan. You understand? Generally, I don't know how it has been in my life that I've generally avoided being a fan of artists. I don't know, but I've never really been like a fan of a specific artist. Maybe like Panic at the Disco. Yeah, when I was 16, I was really into them. And when they now dropped, Pray for the Wicked in 2018, I was really like, okay, Panic at Disco, Metallica, hey, I like Metallica. But other than those, bands that many 16-year-olds, my kind of ear would like, I haven't really liked fans. So that's why all these, betrayal. Oh, and Lana Del Rey, ever since I got that, what was the Ultraviolence CD? No, not the CD. I got it on iTunes or something like that. That particular album, I never knew that women back then could do rock music like that. So she was the first one that I discovered. So moving forward, I just kept up with her releases and everything. But even if she should say something explicitly damaging or engage in ways that are explicitly damaging, I won't be triggered. I beg. I mean, obviously, I hope that all of them, because she may not mean so much to me, but there are many people, right, that everything she does is like, Jesus Christ has walked the earth again. So, yeah. So that statement exposes more than she realizes the way she said it, because she's basically implying that true is a bad thing. She's confirming via that kind of statement that she believes that this is a bad thing to be. Which goes against, like I said, the very existence of what is believed to be a core demographic of her primary audience. So, yeah, that's it. And she now, I feel like, I think they said she now reposted something of somebody calling out all his alleged misdoings and all. It's just support. You don't do the bad thing. You have done the bad thing. You've done the bad thing. So, yeah, we can't afford to continually, they haven't said anything, or they should keep their politics private. See, when celebrities come out and say, they are this, they are that, in terms of politics, and people now say, politics is a private matter. Shut up! It's no longer a private matter. Let us know who is doing us wicked things. Private matter is that you have AS, or you have something. You have an issue. That's private matter. You have a health issue, But that's you as a celebrity that probably has money. You can donate your money to what will make your fans suffer. No, it's not. Confess it. So any celebrity that not in any way confess, no vex, eh? No vex, no vex. It's been fun, but I don't think I can. I don't think this guessing game is not fun. It is not fun, bro. I can only imagine people that are Nicki Minaj core fans that, after she went for that woman's birthday. I can only imagine how they felt after that and after, because Nicki Minaj is one of those artists that they have all those kind of, I don't want to call them crazy, but those kind of fans that once you post anything against her on Twitter, next thing, 944 notification. Then go find your house address. Then we find your wife's house address, your children, their school and their school fees. No. So it's well. So yeah, that's one of the hypocrisies I saw today. I was like, oh, so true. You're part of them. So okay, we're talking celebrities. Me, Unko, what are my own beliefs? My official answer is that I answer based on case to case. You ask me and I'll answer. I don't want to identify myself uniquely under one thing. You understand? Although by the core ideologies, even if maybe you do a stringent litmus test, I'm not 100% left, right? Mostly, I think, I might be left. You understand? Basically, root of my own ideologies is understanding the situation thoroughly and employing the effect with the approach with the least harm. Avoiding situations that are entirely superficial in nature. Like, take for example, these expressions of gender conversation, which is the most superficial thing I've ever heard in my life. So, yeah, maybe in another recording I'll do a test, to see. I think they call it political compass, to see whether where I am on that political compass. With all those things now, will they even be accurate? But yeah, that's just it. That's just what I want to talk about today. Yeah. Again, I'm not attacking. I can't be a human being, especially a human being I don't know. Even when, you do wrong, I know that you are probably doing wrong for reasons unbeknownst to me, or even if I know your reasons are from a place of lack of understanding, that your brain is either past the point of understanding or hasn't reached the point of understanding yet. You understand? So I still have empathy for the wicked people. That did not sound right, but I hope somebody caught what I meant. Thank you for listening to this long recording, and till we meet again.